So, on today's reaction video, we have Myron Gaines. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this guy, aka Amru Fudl, the Sudanese American rage baiter. He's been all over the internet saying all kinds of things about Jews, women, etc. Lately, for the past, I would say more or less since October 7th, he's been going off about how Israel controls the world, Israel controls America. Clearly not a very big fan of the Jewish people, but Myron always likes to find ways to piss people off because, like Tucker Carlson, he wants the attention, the clicks, the money. That's mostly what he cares about. So we are going to react to a video he did with this guy. We're going to react to a video that he did with
Who? I mean, the guy just got done annihilating the Gaza Strip with, 2 million plus people in there, with 50% of them being kids. So he's wanted for war crimes, with the blockade and starvation. If you have the ability and the willingness to kill innocent people, I don't think I could put it past you that you wouldn't also be corrupt.
How do you feel about the situation in Iran?
Okay, where do you want me to start? You can start with, so I'll just summarize it. This is, and I'll kind of give I'll give a quick little summarization, and then we can open the dialogue there. But I think that this is a war that was completely avoidable. I don't think it's a good war. I think we got dragged in by the. I'm not a fan of the state of Israel. I think they've created a lot of problems for us. I think they have hijacked.
I love how he blocks out Israel. Like it's such an overreaction. It's such a Myron thing to do that because he's like, oh, well, I better blur their name out because they're gonna come after me and they're gonna block my channel because they're controlling. It's not because you say Israel. You can absolutely say the word Israel. And first of all, they have let you, man, the media has let you say all kinds of crazy things, all kinds of crazy shit. You have been able to say the most wild shit. But he's doing it. It's his strategy. It's his content strategy. It's a smart play. It's a smart play. But it's a little ridiculous.
Foreign policy in the Middle East, and I don't think that we should continue to have a partnership and give them the same level of aid and diplomatic cover and everything else we do for them, because I think Israel's really put us in a very precarious situation politically, diplomatically, economically, geopolitically in general, and it's just I don't see them as an ally whatsoever.
So you don't believe that we should be there in Iran?
No, not at all.
Really? And what's your proof that is the reason we're there?
Well, Marco Rubio admitted it. So a couple of days after the attack in early March, we attacked them, I think, February 28th. Days after, they said, hey, well, why did we do it? And Marco Rubio admitted it. And then he's reeled it back. He changed the story a bit. But he said, hey, yeah, we attacked because, we knew that we were going to attack. And, the Iranians knew that they were going to be, ever since the 6-Day War back in June, right? The Iranians knew that either the United States or would attack them again. It was called Operation Rising Lion when they attacked them back during the 12-day war in June of last year. So, the have been preparing, the United States have been preparing, obviously the Iranians have been preparing, and knowing that they were going to get attacked again, they said, look, if they attack us, we're going to look at that as an attack by the United States as well, and if the United States attacks us, we're going to look at that as an attack by Israel as well, and we're going to hit both of you back. So, us knowing this, basically came to the United States. Netanyahu did. He came here 7 times in 13 months, and he basically was like, look, we have 2 different strategies. We're going to either attack with or without you. And Marco Rubio and Trump, they knew that they were going to attack. So you know what? We got to get involved because we know that we're going to get retaliated against as well. And, Trump still went into the war despite his entire intelligence apparatus telling him, this is a bad idea. You're not going to get the regime change you think. The people aren't going to hit the streets and do a regime change. It's not going to work. But Trump relied heavily upon intelligence and alongside the an attack, which prompted us to obviously get involved in the war, and now we're stuck in a political quagmire.
Do you believe that Netanyahu controlled Trump?
I think he has an enormous amount of influence. I'm not going to sit here and say he controls Trump all the way because I think that's a bit disingenuous.
No one controlled the Great White Hope.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say I think he controls him full on, but I do think that he has an enormous amount of influence, and I do think also the donor class has an enormous amount of influence. If you look at someone like Miriam Adelson, who gave him $100 million on his 2024 campaign, but I do think that he, listens to the a lot more than he should. He takes their intelligence for more than he should. Because big part of the reason why we engage, well, besides the fact that they were going to attack anyway, he did rely heavily upon the intelligence apparatus to make the decision to attack on February 28th.
I hear people complaining that Trump and the Republican Party get money from the right, and they seem to be upset about that. What is wrong with Trump and the Republican Party receiving money from the?
Well, the reason why it's a problem is because a lot of these are first. So, I'll give you an example. Like Thomas Massie, he just lost his seat. And
out of Kentucky?
Out of Kentucky. Right. That was, I think, the 4th Congressional District.
Right.
They spent over $30 million to get him out of there. Right. Now, and I looked it up, there's less than 1% population in that area. But since he's been such kind of a thorn on their side, exposing AIPAC, going famously on Tucker's show, talking about AIPAC handler this, AIPAC handler that. Now, a lot of us that follow politics kind of know this, but this has kind of been an ugly secret that they've been trying to avoid telling people about because they don't want people to know that the United States foreign policy and the United States government in general is heavily influenced by the lobby. But the issue that I have with this is you have American, a lot of them tend to have dual citizenship. And what ends up happening is these people are first, they're not America first. And an example I'll give of this is you look at someone like Bill Ackman, right? Lifelong Democrat, Alan Dershowitz, lifelong Democrat. Now that the Democrat Party is, having a lot more anti-rhetoric, they're voting Republican. They're voting, they're abandoning their normal domestic policy
but I still don't understand,
in favor of another one.
I still don't understand why do some Republican voters get mad with money that comes from and because when you're running a campaign,
sure, it's expensive.
You need money to run a campaign.
It's very expensive. Yeah.
On both sides, the Democrats get money from the too. I never hear Republicans complaining about that. So and why is that?
I make the joke. I say all the time that both parties get money from the lobby. Yeah. Especially at the federal level, because it's going to be very hard to get into the federal level of politics if you don't support it. Yeah. But the Democrats, right, they take the money and they pretend they don't. The Republicans openly take it, and they're proud of their relationship with it. The reason why it's such a problem is because these people that are donating the money, they're not donating it to improve the lives of Americans. They're donating it like me and you. They're donating it for a vested interest in ensuring that that politician aligns with pro policies.
Right. But that's the same. It's that way on both parts. The Democrat, they donate to the Democrats for that reason too.
Yeah.
And when you give a lot of money like that, it's always for something back. You want something.
Of course. It's money with strings attached.
That's what happens.
And that's the problem. And that's precisely the problem because, someone like Miriam Adelson isn't going to give Trump $100 million, right, and not expect something in return.
Right.
So
what's really funny, though, what Myron is missing to mention is Thomas Massie's rival in this election, Jeff Yass. I'm sorry, Thomas Massie, who lost. He was also being funded. He was being supported by a Jewish billionaire, Jeff Yass. So he's complaining. Myron is complaining that Ed Gelrein, the rival of Thomas Massie, was funded by the Adelsons. Meanwhile, the other guy was also funded by a Jewish billionaire. People are going to do what's in their best interest. It's such a moot point. If the overall American population does not want to align with Israel, that's fine. But just understand something very important. If America wants to be the #1 superpower on planet Earth, and Americans want to benefit from that, because there's a reason why America is what America is. There's a reason why, despite the issues, because no country is perfect, being an American is the best thing you can be. Having an American passport is unbeatable. There are people risking their lives to get into this country. No American is risking their life to get into another country. That's not a thing. Everyone wants an American passport, okay? Outside of Israel, it's no surprise that the majority Jewish population in the diaspora lives in the United States. The Jewish population has tremendous influence on why, pardon my English, I'm a little tired, but the reason why America to such a degree is what it is today is because Jews have contributed enormously to its success. Like, let's not sugarcoat this. Because Myron loves to shit talk and shit talk and shit talk. So I'll gloat here. I'll talk the Jews up as a very proud Jew. New York wouldn't be what it is. California wouldn't be what it is. The show business wouldn't be what it is. Entertainment, TV, stand-up comedy, medicine, agriculture. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Every area of entertainment. Martial arts, sports, everything, everything. We are at the top in every single field. Jews are even getting into MMA now. The Israeli MMA fighters are making their moves in the MMA world. You have Denia Avdia, who's killing it in the NBA, and Myron likes to put his focus, and try to slander us. And it's like, what the fuck have the Sudanese done for the for the American population? The hell have they contributed to making America great? Little to damn nothing, other than maybe some scams with the Somalians. It's just like, it's so. If you want to go toe to toe on this, like, this is an easy win. It's laughable. America has a vested interest in what happens with Iran because they understand that Israel has to go to war with Iran inevitably, because Iran was trying to not fight Israel directly. So what did they do? They sent proxies. They funded other guerrilla armies to go and fight Israel directly. Why did they do this? They were giving tons of money to Hezbollah, to Hamas, to the Houthis, to fighting groups in Syria, because at the end of the day, Iran wants to assert its dominance as a Shia country. They have a Shia, many of the Iranians are not Shia, but the leadership, the IRGC, the Ayatollahs, the mullahs, they want to assert Shia Islam around the world eventually, but they want to start with the Middle East. Now, they're not so worried about other Muslim countries because they can buy them off. They can fund groups like Hezbollah. Hezbollah has more power than the Lebanese army. The Lebanese army isn't worth shit, and they can do that in these neighboring countries. And as soon as they get Israel out of the picture, if they were able to succeed in destroying Israel, it's much easier for them to go ahead and dominate in the Middle East. So it's very clear what Iran's mission is. They have a religious motivation to do it, and they also have a political and strategic reason for doing it. America doesn't want to partner with Iran when they can partner with Israel. It's a no-brainer. Iran doesn't contribute anything close to what Israel does. It's not even a question as to which country, if America has to choose, which country to invest in to get the biggest bang for their buck, it's going to be Israel every single time. And so if America pulled all of their support, if there was a president after Trump that said, we are done with Israel, we are even enemies with Israel, Israel would have no choice but to fight wars on its own and make alliances when necessary with countries who are willing to do so. And Israel has so much to offer, another country or countries would step in. And if Israel needs to align with those countries, even if they don't support the US, such as Russia and China, it will do it to guarantee its survival. And you'll very quickly see that America will lose a lot of money, power, and influence. Another country will fill that vacuum, and that country will do astronomically better economically. America knows this, and America is not about to lose that allyship, no matter whether they're conservative leaders, uh, uh, democratic leaders. This is what it is. I am very in support of America, or Israel rather, being fully self-reliant militarily, because America, unfortunately, benefits from having a lot of these conflicts continue. Lockheed Martin makes a ton of money. At the end of the day, they benefit immensely. They benefit immensely from having the Israeli-Palestinian conflict continuing, Russia-Ukraine. All these conflicts benefit a very small but very powerful group of people. And if Israel and the Israeli government actually wants peace, because I know that people do, sometimes I question whether government officials do, but I'd like to believe that the majority, even of the Israeli government, are tired and they understand that this is not sustainable forever. And so they need to become self-reliant militarily. Let's continue.
and that puts us in a very precarious situation because now our foreign policy is going to be based on, you know, what donors want that might not necessarily be representative of the American public.
But shouldn't, if the Americans are going to be mad about that, shouldn't they be mad on both sides? I mean, be mad at the Democrats for doing it as well?
Yeah, I'm very critical of both sides. I would say that the Democrats are a little bit further ahead in understanding the problems with the lobby in America, but they're not, you know, they're not innocent either, you know, at all. Both parties absolutely support. And I think that is in of itself a problem because it's one of the things that's one of the bipartisan things that, like, if there's a bill that's like to benefit Israel, like 90% both sides are like, yeah, let's get this through. Who cares? They'll argue about everything else, healthcare and all the other things that we battle all the time. But when it comes to policies, both the left and the right absolutely agree and say, yeah, we need.
I just want you to think about this. Iran is funding all these proxies, and Israel's able to defeat these proxies at the same time. At the same time. It's like, and even if these countries had air forces, Israel would still beat them. Okay? Israel is able to control the skies of Iran by itself if it wanted to. Its air force and its weapons are so much more advanced. And then people are going to say, oh, because America fun. No, it is because Israel and Israelis have no other choice. There is an existential threat. And when your back is against the wall, you become a lot more clever, a lot more innovative, and a lot more dangerous than your enemy. The Israelis are not threatening to destroy Iran. They have zero interest in doing so. The Iranian regime, on the other hand, would love to destroy the state of Israel and everybody inside of it. Being that Israel understands that, being that us as Jews understand that, we are much, much more formidable. We might be tiny compared to Iran in size and population, but we have much better technology. We are much more battle tested, and we are willing to do a lot more to ensure our survival. That's the secret weapon. That's what America understands. This is something that nobody's really talking about, but I'm going to say it here. America is not willing to lose its ties with Israel because the biggest weapon Israel has is that it's got no choice but to win. It can afford to lose some battles. It cannot afford to lose wars. It has to win. And when you're working with a winning country, you're going to end up with good results. Not everything's going to be perfect. Gas prices might go up in the short term, but at the end of the day, America is still going to remain the number one country. That's why we do it. That is why things are the way they are, Mr. Foodle. He's not a stupid guy, this Amru. He's not a stupid guy. Like he knows this, but he also hates this vitriol. He doesn't like that Jews have their hands in everything. He doesn't like that we're so successful. Not because he makes his money, but there's a part of him that knows that the Sudanese, unfortunately, like I'm sure there are lovely Sudanese people out there, but the Sudanese haven't contributed much of anything to the world as far as I know. Maybe they've done certain things, but his blood, the people that he comes from, are like it's just not even in the same galaxy. And so, yeah, there probably is a large degree of envy.
Support it unequivocally. It's only after October 7th and the genocide and everything we saw happen in Gaza that people really started to, you know, kind of be like, oh, well, I don't know if we can continue to support it. This has been a topic that's been heavily censored for decades. If you talked about this topic on, you know, YouTube or the main platforms before October 7th, it was one of the.
You know, it's so funny though, because I already know, like I've listened to enough of Myron already. If Israelis took, let's call them Palestinians for the sake of the argument, took Palestinians hostage, and Hamas somehow was able to flatten Israel and kill everybody in it, Myron would be like, serves him right. Like I know he would, by the way. Would there be some remorse? I don't know. Maybe like, wow, that was a little too extreme. But he'd wake up and go to work the next day. Like he'd be like, serves him right, fucking G. Like he wouldn't even, it wouldn't phase him at all. Like I know there's a large part of him that would actually be very happy about it. That's the funny thing. If the roles were reversed, especially if someone took his family member, someone like took his mother or one of his kids. Oh, if the Israeli government kidnapped Myron Gaines's like daughter, if he had a kid, oh, he'd literally be like, just nuke the whole country, kill everybody in it. I don't even care if they're all Jewish, just kill everything, destroy everything. I'm so confident. I have zero doubt. Like maybe if it didn't have to happen and there was a way not to do it, he would opt for that. But if he knew that that was an option and that would actually get the result, yeah, Myron, because Myron would probably love to see that happen anyway, and all the more so if his kid was in danger. Oh, like I don't think there are very few things I'm more certain of than this.
The fastest ways to get banned. But now that it's out there and people seeing kids get blown up in 4K, it's very difficult to continue, supporting the state of. This is actually what got me demonetized on YouTube because I was talking about this stuff for years before October 7th. So,
So
yeah,
let me
well
ask,
before October 7th.
you
Sorry.
said that this person gave Trump a lot of money, a person,
Yeah, her name is Miriam Adelson.
and
One of
so
them.
is it possible that she gave him that money because she trusts him and she wanted him to win, so she supported him? Is it possible she did not do it for just to help out?
100%. She's a hardcore Zionist. She's a dual citizen. Her husband Sheldon Adelson. Basically, they made their money being like casino tycoons, and they obviously are very close with Netanyahu. As a matter of fact, they're witnesses in his criminal case. By the way, Netanyahu is facing a corruption case out of. It's been going on for almost 10 years now. That's another reason why he wants to always be in war, to avoid his criminal investigation that he has on him for taking bribes and stuff like that.
How do you know that's true?
That she's one of the main witnesses?
Know that about Netanyahu.
Oh, it's public. He's been under investigation for a long time for corruption.
But Trump is being accused for corruption too, and they find out it's not true.
Oh,
and men who really stand up, and I don't know what's happening, if that's happening or not, but I know that when men stand up for what is right, the attack comes from everywhere.
Sure,
people make up stuff, and all kind of stuff happens because men represent God on earth. They're sons of God, right? Mm-hmm. And evil hate the Son of God, since evil cannot touch God. It goes after his son. And so whenever men stand up, like Netanyahu and my dream team, by the way, have you heard of my dream team?
No, tell me the.
Donald Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin.
Okay.
The dream team.
That's the dream team?
Those men, and when they stand up, when they stand up for what is right, everybody, not everyone, but they're being attacked to knock them back down. So a lot of this stuff is just made up about Netanyahu and Putin and Trump. So because they stand up.
Now, when it comes to Putin, I do think that he's very misunderstood, and I do think that he has people don't like when I say this, but I do think that the invasion of Ukraine, given his position strategically, national security perspective, I see why they did what they did. But when it comes to Netanyahu, the guy is corrupt. He's been caught, multiple times, sabotaging the Oslo Accords, admitting.
The guy's corrupt. It's crazy. I think Myron likes Putin because Putin doesn't waver. You see, the thing is and Trump also doesn't really waver, but Bibi does. And Myron's this kind of guy where he has an enormous amount of respect for people like Putin who refuse to change course. They make a decision, they're sticking with it. They'll go all the way. Putin will fight this war with Ukraine for the next 100 years if he's alive to see it. It's interesting because what Russia's doing goes against what America's looking to do. But Myron is a contrarian, so he says, okay, well, I understand where Putin's coming from. Anyone can understand where Putin's coming from. I can understand where Iran's coming from. It doesn't mean I'm going to allow them to accomplish their goal. Like, I understand what Iran's looking to do. I understand what Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthi, they all have a plan. But that plan does not serve me because they want to kill me. So I ain't about to let it happen. But do I understand it? Can I even, to some fucked up way, respect it? Now, people if you can't understand the difference between understanding and respect, then I don't know what to tell you. Go read a book. But the point is I can respect my enemy in a sense. It doesn't mean I agree with them. It doesn't mean I like them, and it surely doesn't mean I'm going to allow them to get to do what they want to do. But I can understand that they are motivated to accomplish their goal, and by me respecting them, I am able to take them at face value and take them seriously. It's often when people like these liberals or people in the West or these anti-Israel Jews, they don't respect their enemy to the point where they don't even realize that they are an enemy. They don't take them seriously. They don't take them at their word, and they're fucked. You had that with unfortunately, with the Israelis on the border of Gaza. They didn't understand their enemy. They didn't take them seriously. And unfortunately, it led to disastrous results. Let's continue.
It, Netanyahu, we know that he's more than likely taking these bribes. They brought Arnon Milchan in, Miriam Adelson, everything else like that. There was a whole documentary talking about this. And I do understand what you're saying. People that are, stand on 2 feet and are very critical of certain things, they tend to be persecuted.
Right.
I get
Absolutely.
that. But when it comes to someone like Netanyahu, I mean, the guy just got done annihilating, the Gaza Strip with 2 million plus people in there, with 50% of them being kids. The guy did a genocide. Basically, he's wanted for war crimes. With the blockade and starvation and everything else like that. Let me
ask this because
so I don't think I do think if you have the ability and the willingness to kill innocent people, I don't think I could put it past you that you wouldn't also be corrupt.
But we don't know if that's true, because over in Gaza, the Allahu Akbar people put their the Allahu Akbar people put their own people in harm's way to get killed, and then they accuse of doing it, but not saying that they put them in hospitals.
See, the problem is I see what this guy's trying to say, but he's not. First of all, I don't know why this guy has such a big platform. He can barely get sentences across. No offense to him. He sounds like a reasonable guy. It sounds like he's pro-Israel. I probably got his heart in the right place, but it's interesting that he has such a big platform and he's not, he can't speak properly. But it's very true. What he's saying is very true. People do not give the Gazans the respect of being adults with the ability to make decisions. They look at them as these poor, brainless monkeys. This is how the world sees them, funny enough. And they go, oh, but these people are too oppressed, and they don't have the intelligence to think these things through. And the Israelis should understand that. They should allow them to attack them. It's warranted. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. The Gazans, they don't have any choice but to invade us and slaughter our people. Kidnap. What other choice do they have? We should feel sorry for them. Because they're just poor Muslims from a poor situation. It's crazy. They throw their kids into the fire of war, and they want them to die as shahid, as mujahideen. And then when they die, they cry about it, but they're also kind of happy about it. It's very strategic. It's such a funny thing. They're celebrating the pride of them dying for the cause, but then on camera they're in bitter tears about it. It's like, you caused that though. Like, that was your pride and joy, your son joining Hamas to kill the Zionists, to kill the Jews, but then you're also really broken up about it. And I believe they're actually sad a lot of the time, and these are still people they love, but it's like, then why are you so bent on sending them to die? Like, it's not working. It's not what you've been trying for a long. You really think it's suddenly you just banging your head against the same door for almost 80 years, and you're like, it's gonna work. It's not gonna work, man. Like, it's been working really badly up until now. Myron's the kind of guy that actually thinks it's gonna work. Like, it's really because of the mercy of the Jewish people that it hasn't already, that they haven't been genocided yet. Like, almost any other country, especially a Muslim country, actually would have genocided them. Actually would have. And if they didn't, they would have literally sent them into the sea. And I know that because the Jordanians did that. I believe it was I don't quote me on this, we'll do our research, but I know that it was definitely more than one country that expelled Palestinians. Nobody says a word. No, most people don't even know about this. But let's continue.
They set it up with their own people who can be killed.
Oh, the human shield fallacy. Yeah,
Right.
so that's not
Do you
really
believe
true.
that?
No,
Why don't you believe that?
no, because they'll lie, right? They'll lie. They'll sit there and say, "Oh
But
yeah,
I know people from there that told me that was
IDF
happening.
soldiers."
They no, some Alu Abba people who I'm friends with, very close friends
Yeah.
with, and they came from those places, and they said that does happen,
Well,
so that they can use propaganda against or the United States that they did it when they really put their own people in harm's way.
yeah. So the thing is, and it's kind of funny because it says this too. They'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we we're going after Hamas. We're going after Hamas." Okay, if you're going after Hamas and you know that they're in underground tunnels, why are you blowing up hospitals and blowing up civilian infrastructure, right? They've said that, oh yeah, Hamas is set up at this hospital, they're set up at this hospital. Not really. That's not true. Tucker actually did an interview. I think it was dropped a day or two before, and there was like a heart surgeon, was it, or a cancer surgeon or a cancer doctor that was there, and he had been in all the hospitals. Like, look, I've walked through every nook and cranny of these hospitals, and Hamas isn't there, as well as many other of these doctors that have, like, because they bring doctors in from all over the world to help out with the humanitarian crisis.
Yeah.
And pretty much all of them were like, yeah, no, like I've never seen Hamas there. They don't have bases like they claim. That's a lot of that is propaganda.
Let me do this
to justify bombing civilians.
There's so much I want to get to you.
Sure,
about.
sure.
And I'm running out of time. But let me ask: would Trump support if they did not give him money?
I don't think he'd support them to this extent. He'd probably still support them, but I don't think that he would support them to this extent. And he did a lot of unorthodox things that have kind of like prompted this war as well in his first administration, moving embassy, the Abraham Accords. A lot of these things actually preempted October 7th and led to October 7th happening.
And so, do you know that?
What led to October 7th is a multitude of things, and it didn't. I mean, you can go all the way back to the birth of Islam if you want to play this game, but like, you have the Holocaust, the Farhud in Iraq, you got all kinds of pogroms, you got all kinds of a massive laundry list of persecution in the Christian and Muslim world. The Jews just getting killed, battered, slaughtered for thousands of years. We have a state. We want to share the state. The Arabs don't want to do it. Many of you know the history. If you don't, watch my content. Reach out to me. Myron, this argument will never work if you try to debate me. You probably won't debate me, but I'll fucking destroy you. I would love to. It didn't start in 1948 either. It started long before that, and the Jews have lived in this region long before Arabs and Muslims did. Like, enough of this bullshit already. Like, and it serves nothing to play this game. We're in 2026. We're not in 2023. We're not in 1948. We're not in 1546. We're not in the year 23. We are in 2026. Israel exists, and the Jews have nukes. Do you want to fight with your stupid Fajr missiles and your drones, even with your air forces? We'll knock them out of the sky. Like, the Jews are done fucking around, man. Like, we're not playing these games anymore. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Like, it's entertaining to me already. You know what? The catalyst for October 7th. The catalyst for October 7th is people like you. People like you.
And America is our friend, and that America has been one ever since it came about, and that they were our allies in that area, and that Christianity and Judaism, if it wasn't for Judaism, there would be no Christianity. So they're like brothers. And so
I respectfully disagree with that.
But it's been that way forever. American and have been allies forever because of Christianity and Judaism. Did you know that?
Well, they reject the divinity of Christ. They spit on Christians in Jerusalem.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I know we've been like allies with them.
Allied
for sure. Yeah.
And does that count for anything?
No.
Why not?
No, because
would you turn on your friend?
It's not so the thing is that, if my friend is putting me in a precarious situation where I'm constantly getting attacked or I've lost my, reputation, world standing, and my honor because of their poor behavior, I don't think that's really a friend anymore. And I think
It's just crazy how like a Christian man, by the way, it seems like a really great guy, but a Christian and a Muslim are educating Jews on putting people in precarious situations. Like, how do you think English became such a heavily spoken language? How do you think Spanish and Arabic became massively spoken languages? Because of empires, because of conquest, because of forced conversion. Things that Jews don't do and didn't do. It's so ironic how he's talking about putting people in precarious situations. The only reason why you're a Muslim Afro-Arab is because Arabs put your people in precarious situations. It's like it's so funny how every time people like this point fingers at Jews, they really have three fingers pointing back at them. And the things that they claim are applicable are 100 times more applicable to them. Muslim, like, I can't really think of anything that Muslims accuse Israel and Jews of doing that they haven't done 1,000 times over and are still doing today with so much worse intention, not only to their enemies but to their own people. I find it so funny. Genocide, genocide. You you guys are horrible to each other, let alone your enemies. It's so, and then Christians have just destroyed Africa, taken all the milked people of their resources. France has just milked African countries for their resources. They control, I believe, I forget exactly which African countries, but they still control their trade. They still have power over the business they can do, the economics. You have China, which controls large swaths of land and across the world. They just have they've put themselves into positions to effectively control aspects of certain countries because they have the financial ability to do so. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. It's a dog eat dog world where human beings are animals. It's just interesting. It's like let's go. Let's continue.
But I think
They're not
our
making us
partnership doesn't
do
benefit us.
anything we don't want to do.
I don't know about that. I think this war was one of the things that we didn't really, we were contemplating, doing it. Every president, since I think Jimmy Carter has been trying to get us to attack Iran every time, and every president kind of knew this isn't a good idea. We probably shouldn't do it. And then Trump fell for it, which was I think very. But I don't think Israel's our greatest. I think they've put us in a very bad spot politically.
All right, so I already gave my reaction throughout the video. There's not that much more to say, but I'm not worried about the future of Israel. Jews are by no means new to the idea of struggle, persecution, and hardship. We have gone through it all, and we will make it through everything because the reality is no matter how stupid we are, because we could be really fucking stupid, God always somehow has our back. He's always pulling us by the shirt, being like, "Come on, you idiot, let's go." You know, I felt that in my own life throughout my years. I don't know what I would do without him because I didn't have a dad growing up, and I feel like he's my dad. But he's always looked out for the Jewish people. Sometimes he smacks us around because we don't listen. Um, but we ain't going nowhere, man. I suggest our enemies get used to it because we're just getting stronger and stronger. We're getting stronger and stronger, man. We're back in our land. We're back in our essence. We're whole again. And we have the Jews in the diaspora, and we're all one team. It's just time for people to get on board with that. Like even if you don't like us, it's just better. Like fighting us doesn't yield good results. Look at the countries that are allied with us, they do so much better. And again, I'll reiterate, I want Israel to get off of any sort of American aid, any whatsoever, even though the money has to go back into the American economy. It's very important to mention that. And also the percentage of America's military budget, the percentage that goes to Israel is tiny, 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 tiny. They're also funding lots of other countries, many other countries they're giving billions of dollars to. It's very important that people understand that. But all that aside, regardless of who else they fund, I would love to see Israel being fully, fully self-reliant militarily. They can do trade with countries. They have incredible weapons to sell. Israel should be manufacturing their own planes. That's something they've wanted to do, and America didn't let. Israel needs to be fully self-reliant. Plenty of countries trade with them now. Plenty of countries buy their weaponry. and that's not going to change. It's only going to get better. So, Bibi, if somehow you happen to be listening to this, or anyone that's connected to you in the government is listening to this, you need for the security and the safety of Israel long term, we need to be fully self-reliant, and you understand that. Ladies and gents, thank you as always for making it to the end of my video. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments. For all of your South Florida real estate needs, make sure to get in contact with me so we can get you into the home or help sell the home. Until next time, and as before I forget, buy me a coffee. If you're looking to support the channel, it would mean the world to me. If you would go to the description, click on the link, and offer any amount of shekels of dough that you feel would be fitting. Anything you're willing to give would be appreciated. And that's a wrap.